This is the year you move. This is the year you take that next step. Whether you're starting out, starting over, or starting something new, you need a local moving company that you can trust. We're Mankato Movers. We're your hometown moving resource, and we'll get you there. Call or email about our pre-move service today.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this episode of I.C.E. I.C.E. stands for Inspire, Collaborate, and Encourage, and is our collaborative podcast we produce every week. Each podcast is typically hosted live, but also have available for replay on our I.C.E. Facebook page and our I.C.E. YouTube channel. Each week, we interview a guest or guests that we felt had an interesting story to tell about the three key words: inspire, collaborate, and encourage. In 2020, we found great comfort and knowledge, both personally and professionally, in the podcasts of other people that we follow. And the podcasts we watch were anything from others in our industry or business coach style individuals. But it was just, a lot of it was life in general as well. We're excited to bring this to you each week at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on Thursdays. And we also have the ability in many of the presentations for you, the viewers, to ask questions of our guests. So let us meet today's guest. It's me.
Which is Jay.
I'm in the hot seat today.
I think it's fun that we're interviewing one another. It just makes things a little bit more interesting. Want to say hi to Christine Shreve and Becky Kotzer. Becky is having a very snowy day. They had school canceled today and tomorrow.
Wow.
So where we had just a weird sky today, they actually got the white stuff. So let's talk. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to tell the viewers, if you wish to have your name displayed in the chat, go to www.streamyard.com/Facebook to grant access. And then that way we can see who's asking questions. And again, you can follow us on Facebook and on YouTube. So there we go.
Rena's here and Angie is here as well. Thank you for joining us. Let's get started.
Kind of awkward when one of the hosts is the guest. I've been in that position. Yeah, Christine, though, you don't interview yourself, probably, though. Yeah. So.
When we were at the last minute going, who's going to produce?
We've got it under control. We can do it.
So not everybody knows that you had a whole profession before we became entrepreneurs and all that good stuff. Tell us a little bit about the jobs that you have held and how it led us to where we are today.
Well, how far back do you want me to go? Like, want me to go like 5th grade? You want me to start there?
No.
Or? Oh, okay.
Like how you started your medical career
as an adult, maybe, huh?
As an adult. Okay. I don't think you're quite an adult yet, but
yeah, that's true. My initial career obviously was indeed in healthcare. I started out actually at 16. I started out as a nurse's aide in a nursing home, and worked there for a few years. Also got my EMT my senior year in high school, and then went to nursing school and graduated in '93 with my LPN degree, and then started out working right away. Worked in a couple of a small hospital in southwestern Minnesota, and then a little bit bigger hospital in central eastern South Dakota, and then eventually moved up to Grand Forks, North Dakota, and I took got my associate's degree in paramedicine up there, and was up there during the big flood of '97. When Grand Forks was on fire and burning and flooding and everything all at the same time. East Grand Forks was in the same situation. And then in the summer of '97, after I passed all my stuff, I got a job with Dallas County EMS down in Iowa. That was my first place. And that's where I started my career. And then I retired in 2013 as a paramedic. Finishing my career with Gold Cross ambulance service here in Fairmont, tied into the Mayo Health System. Now they're known as Mayo Medical Transport or Mayo Clinic Ambulance or something. I'm not really sure what they're known as now. They changed everything since I was there. And then got into this. So got into this before I got out of the paramedicine. I think we started this in 2004. So we've been doing this now for 16 years, and we still have a lot to learn. But these podcasts have been helping because we're learning from a lot of other people in our industry. And shout out to the Shirt Lab Tribe group that we get a lot of education from as well. So.
When you give us those numbers, it just makes me feel old. It doesn't seem like you have been retired since 2013 or that we've been doing this for 16 years, because it still seems like yesterday.
Well, let's be honest. There's one of us that's older than the other in this.
And there's one of us that has more gray hair too. So
I can't help that. That's genetic from my mother. I mean,
tell us about a day in your shoes.
Well, my days right now are a lot different than what they used to be. And when I say used to be, I'm not even talking my paramedic days. I'm talking, 10 months ago, 11 months ago. January 4th of this year, while I was down doing a college football event called the College Gridiron Showcase down in Fort Worth, Texas. As many of our viewers know, I had a massive heart attack and should not be here today. I should have died A, in the hotel room, and then B, on the cath lab table. But the good Lord saw fit to keep me around, and so since then my days are much slower paced, probably to a certain degree less stressful, and certainly a big lifestyle change. I lost quite a bit of weight in kind of January through March, mainly because my loving wife was starving me to death, thinking that she was doing the right thing. No, I'm just kidding. I lost quite a bit of weight, and sadly, I've put quite a bit of it back on. But hopefully in the near future, we can start working on getting that off again.
Awesome. I'm certainly happy that you're still here. Definitely January started out the year of chaos, as I call it. Not everything bad has been in 2020. It just seems like the bad stuff has been amplified.
Yeah, it's certainly 2020 has been. I mean, yesterday I think the bingo card was what was it yesterday? I don't remember that I posted on Facebook, but it was something about hail and lightning after a snowstorm the day before or something like that. It's
right.
Yeah.
So
I think Mother Nature is not happy with 2020 as well.
Probably. When you were in the hospital and we were going through your initial few months of treatment and unknown and things like that, I made the decision that I was going to try to focus on the positive, and that's where I came up with Inspire, Collaborate, and Encourage. How have you taken that message and applied it to your everyday life?
Well, typically, I mean, I'll be honest to our viewers. In our house, when you come up with an idea, I typically dismiss it. And then when I think about it longer and I think that it's a good idea, then I present it to you, and then we usually move forward.
And then I'm like, oh, yeah, honey.
And then you try to take claim for the idea, and I usually like, no, it was my idea. I changed it. In this particular case, I.C.E was, without a doubt, it was your idea. You blessed me with the opportunity to just kind of take this and run with it. And I mean, I think within the first couple of weeks, we were booked all the way up through February, I believe. And so we've got a lot of guests. We've got a lot of great guests coming up. We've had a lot of great guests on. And we knew that at some point we were going to do interviews with each other. And so, we've got yours out of the way here a few weeks ago, and now getting mine out. And I'm sure at some point we'll probably do them again. Angie's posting what the post was. It was next number on the 2020 bingo card is Eerie Sky with hail that followed a snowstorm squall in mid-October. If you bingoed with this number, it's worth an extra $300 due payable to the IRS. So, yeah, that was my post I put up this morning. It doesn't even feel like I put it up this morning. It feels like I put it up yesterday, but it was this morning.
And I have to say, back to the ideas, when something's my idea, sometimes I don't even tell you. Courtney says sometimes I just ask her to tell you. And then it's a great idea because it came to Courtney. We conspire against you all the time.
Yeah, that's probably. Is that kind of like lying? Maybe.
No,
no.
we don't
Okay.
want to get into that discussion right now.
Okay, I just checking.
Okay.
So it's. I've really enjoyed this. This has been something that you and I have found a great deal of joy in doing together, and I've loved hearing other people's messages. I've loved hearing, from the everything, just from the religious side of it to the spiritual side of it to like Chris Willard and everything that he went through and his heart issues. It's just you feel a little bit of healing and comfort. I think sometimes when you hear other people's stories and you. I don't mean to make it sound like this, but you're like, oh, I guess my life isn't so bad. Yeah, it's a good program. I enjoy it.
You gain compassion out of it as well, because like we've learned, you don't have to have an outward sign that there's something wrong for there to be something wrong. And the message I hope people get is that don't judge, be kind. You never know what someone else is going through, because there's a lot of things that we just can't control.
Right.
There's a question. Angie says, who decided to get into decorated apparel promotional products first and why?
Well, I would say it was a mutual decision probably, but I do think I came up with the idea. I know we had originally started from the photography standpoint, and then we had one of the hockey associations that we were working with approach us about doing apparel along with the photography. And at that time, we really knew nothing about how to do apparel. I know we reached out to a mutual friend in Sharon Oxley over at DNS Trophies to say, how would we even go about doing something like this? And she showed us a couple things, and then next thing you knew, we got offered to purchase Imageware. And I never got a chance really to talk to Sharon about it. I always felt bad that it suddenly seemed like we got some input from her, and then next thing you know, we're her competitor, and that certainly wasn't the intent. It was
right.
We didn't know that we were going to get offered the business at the time that we did. So, but I would say that would be the answer to that. Is and why did we get into it? I think that we were probably at a point in our lives where we were kind of, to a certain degree, tired of working for other companies or other businesses, and we saw this as a potential outlet to work for ourselves, work with each other, which we've talked about this past. I know we talked about it in your interview that most people can't believe, I could never work with my husband, or I could never work with my wife. And there's days where we'd like to probably slit each other's throat, but as I said to you yesterday, with lots and lots of love. So sad thing is, I think I said that to Courtney too. So
you did. I was also going to graphic design school. I had quit my full-time employment, and so it seemed like a natural fit to expand on it, because I didn't really know where I was going to go. And being in a small town in southern Minnesota, it's like, is there graphic design jobs even available for me, and things like that. So,
well, and as a kid, I always enjoyed the sales part of things. I mean, okay, now I am going back to 5th grade. I was the paper boy for half of Lake Benton with the Argus Leader out of Sioux Falls. I keep throwing names out there because hopefully we can pick up some more sponsors. And then was doing my own lawn mowing business. So that involved, selling myself to some other people to be able to do their lawns.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know if you remember this. I don't remember the name of the company, but there used to be a company where you would sell greeting cards. So it'd be anything from like funny cards to sympathy cards to birthday cards, and you would sell these to essentially little old ladies. And then as you sold, you got like a commission back on it, and then you could use the commission to buy. I think I bought a rubber raft boat with oars in it one year, and I think I might have gotten a bike out of it one time too, or something like that. So just different weird things. So.
Together since 1999, and I learned something new today. You never
that
told
me that I sold cards to little old ladies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah. Well, some of the little old ladies were kind of ornery, but most of them were pretty nice. So.
Who had a big inspiration in your life? And I would say as growing up and then as an adult.
Well, growing up, I'll readily admit, and I think most people would have to a certain degree, admit that you never really realize that until you get older, maybe even
Mhm.
into your adulthood, that your parents are such a huge inspiration. Your parents are trying to teach you to not make the mistakes that they made, or to they don't have to be trying to teach you to follow in their footsteps, but they're trying to teach you from avoiding the perils that maybe they've already learned in life, and they don't want to see you have to go through that pain. So without a doubt, I would have to say my parents, and with that, it could also include my extended family with my brothers and sisters. I come from a large family. I have 4 brothers and 3 sisters, and I have one additional brother, a fifth brother that passed away when he was only 2 days old. So I was 3 at the time, so I don't know him. Looking forward to the day sometime that I'll get to meet him, and so it's just your family is just such an important part of your upbringing, and I don't say it enough to my brothers and sisters of how much I do love them and how much I appreciate everything they did, because there was a huge age gap there for a number of years between me and one of my brothers. He graduated 81. I graduated 90. No, yeah, he graduated 81. I graduated 92. So 11 years between him and me.
Mm-hmm.
And then my 2 adopted brothers, then, that I don't call them adopted brothers necessarily, that they're my brothers, are right at my age. So but there was a long period of time there where I was kind of the only kid at home, before we added the 2 boys.
Awesome.
And then I didn't finish the second part. So then, sorry, because I don't have a script to go off of. And then from a professional standpoint, just because I spent so many years on the EMS side of this, or the healthcare side of this, I would have to give credit to 2 people, probably the most. One being my mom, having been a nurse for 40 plus years herself, and which so she's getting double credit there, both as a kid and as an adult. And then I don't know that he'll ever see this. I don't know that he knows this. I don't think I've ever told him this, and I don't think he ever really knew how much he meant to me. But there was a man in Pipestone, Steve Ewing is his name, and he was my EMT instructor, and was absolutely probably the foundation that just led to my entire career. And for that, I can never thank him enough. So.
Very nice. Very nice. We're going to switch gears just a little bit because Angie asked, I get asked often, oops, I clicked off of it, when I meet clients, what is the Visual Identity Vault and how did it come about?
Well, so originally the business was Imageware and Memories. That's when we bought it in 2004. It was Imageware. We added the End Memories part of it because we were adding custom gifts into it and things like that, rather than just apparel. And then in 2014, when we did a rebrand, we went with the Visual Identity Vault. And obviously, pretty much anything we do from a marketing standpoint involves a visual identity. It's a visual
Mhm.
identity for our clients, for our customers, whether it's for them personally, whether it's for their group, their school, their business, whatever. And so there's the visual identity side of that. And then the one that most people don't know about is that we have a gigantic vault down in the basement of this
Ew.
store. And this building used to be Wallace's department store many years ago here in Fairmont. And I told that they had that vault for their paperwork and high valuables and stuff like that. And it still has the tumbler. So if we ever wanted to change the redo the combination, we could. And so it's cool. And we've certainly enjoyed explaining that part of it to people. So we took the visual identity, and then because of the vault, we say that all of our good ideas are locked in the vault.
Nice. Another question from the Peanut Gallery. Carrie Sorensen asks, you used to own a football team. We both did. Would you ever be an owner again? This could be an interesting answer. Carrie's trying to stir the pot a little bit.
Yeah, Carrie's going to get punched in the face for that one. Would we ever be an owner again? Yeah, I'm not going to say no or never. I think it obviously would completely depend on the situation.
Right.
It would depend on who else is involved. I don't think that we would do it solo like we did. Not that there was anything wrong with it. It's just that it's a lot of work. So I think that we would do it if we were to ever do it again. We'd have to have some partners with it and have a clear, defined. You people are in charge of this. We're going to be in charge of this. We're going to hire these people to be in charge of that, or whatever the case may be. But no, for right now, I with the stresses that I have and the health issues I have right now, I'm kind of content just being the commissioner, and that's where the boss hog comes from. That's on the screen there, is because the football team that we owned was called the Hogs, and we owned it for 7 years. So,
yeah. And I'm not. I said we would never do it again. I'm not saying that now, but it is a lot of responsibility, and I loved our team. But yeah, I think at the time it was time to move on, and totally miss our players. We had some great people on our team that when we see them, it makes my heart happy. So
yeah, I echo that immensely. I miss that camaraderie. If there's one thing I could pick out about that I miss, it was just being around those guys. I sometimes the guys and I didn't always see eye to eye because I was nagging them for their player fees or something like that. But, we did kind of do a reunion one time up in Mankato, and it was a blast. And, I'd love to do it again if we could ever get enough guys together to do it. It was, especially the coaches too. It'd be kind of fun to bring some of the coaches back in and just have kind of a reunion or something. So.
Sure. Jamie Shumsky says hi. So he was one of our players, and so that's a nice shout out. Let me see here. What are the proudest moments in your life?
Well, I think without a doubt, the first proudest moment is becoming a dad.
Mm-hmm.
My son, our son, excuse me, Joe, who is lucky enough to have 2 sets of parents.
He didn't always think so, but he's lucky now.
He's. I saw somebody yesterday had a Facebook picture, and it was talking about co-parenting, and it was mom, dad, and then bonus mom, bonus dad, and I thought that was really kind of a cool idea. I was like, we should have made those shirts a long time ago. Yeah, and but I don't know how Joe has ever referred to us, but I'm sure there's sometimes when we're confusing him a little bit when we say mom. I think when he knows that when I say mom, I'm typically referring to you. Otherwise, I usually refer to his mother as Mom and Mike. So I mean, so that would be one of my proudest moments for sure. I think the other one would be when I passed my paramedic, and knew that was going to get to be the start of my career. What I didn't know was that's really when I was going to start to learn stuff, not so much being in school. It's kind of amazing how much stuff you think you know coming out of college, and
Mhm.
you get in the real world, and then you have great partners like John Peterson, Eric Callum, Scott Gavin, and a host of others that at Lee Coons that end up teaching you so much more than what college didn't teach you. So
Right. How has your life been different than what you had imagined?
well, I always thought growing up as a kid, well, two things. Number one, I always thought I was going to be a ninja, just because for some reason there was like ninja movies back when I was a kid, so those were really popular. I thought I somehow would become a ninja. I remember I used to sit in church and think that what happens if the church gets attacked? How can I ninja through the rafters of the church in order to save everybody? And really, maybe should have been paying attention to the sermon, but it was what I did to keep awake. Sorry, Mom. And then but then if, I knew that I was always going to be involved in EMS in some way, shape, or form, but I really wanted to be a fireman. I wasn't necessarily thinking of it on the paramedic side. I was thinking more of the fireman side of it. And then just for whatever reason, I ended up going the medical side, and then didn't really look back. So.
A lot of people don't know how we met. Tell them how.
Hello, my name is Jay.
Good old America Online.
Yep, AOL, you've got mail.
And it was Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, yep.
And we met the next day, and that was all she wrote.
Yep, Christmas Eve. I think it was about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night when I sent you the message, and you responded, and we ended up, I think we both kind of got tired of typing, and we ended up talking on the phone until about 5:30 in the morning, and I needed to get ready for my duty shift the next day in Dallas County. So I'm like, hey, I got to hang up. Sorry. If you want to get together later this afternoon, I'm off shift at 7. You can come on out and we can meet. And I think you were probably like, I don't know if I really want to go meet you in the first 12 hours, but yeah, we left the door open in case you needed to escape or something. No, I'm just kidding. It was great. And yeah, you're right. We haven't looked back since.
Right. Well, I'm going to ask you another question, and then we're going to do our speed round. But do we need to do a couple commercials as well?
Yeah. Do you want to do the speed round next?
Yeah.
Okay. But I'll do the commercials first. I'll do the commercials ahead. All right. So let's hear from a couple of our sponsors. River Valley Dental, located in downtown. There we go. Located in downtown Mankato, Minnesota, provides their patients with the most current treatment using the latest dental technology. Dr. Tom Pooley and his team offer services ranging from general preventative care to restorative care. They are now offering cosmetic treatment paired with their med spa. At River Valley Dental, you're never just another set of teeth. You're a face with a name and a history. It is their privilege to serve you and guide you to your dental goals. River Valley Dental, your smile, our passion. Then we have Gracie B. Doodle, is a new up-and-coming online store and social media group for the decorated apparel, design, and sublimation sector. From digital papers to sublimation blanks and more, Gracie B. Doodle is a great resource for the crafters and for the professional shops. Online at www.graciebdoodle.company.site. And I must have deleted one here. Who else do I got? The Wow Zone in Mankato. Family fun entertainment. It has 24 state-of-the-art bowling lanes, laser tag arena, 2-level laser tag arena, mini golf, snack bar, sports bar, full restaurant. It is one of the coolest places in southern Minnesota. And Pam DeMars and her staff, they're great people. So if you are looking for something to do and in a safe environment, especially with this COVID stuff, go check out the Wow Zone in Mankato.
All right, it's time for the Mankato Movers Speed Round.
Speed round, the Blue Crew, whose motto is, "We'll get you there."
All right, double-decker bus or a luxury car?
Double-decker bus, without a doubt. Hands down.
Double-decker bus or the beast that we had?
Still double-decker bus.
I knew you'd say that. Hawaii or Europe?
Ooh. Well, I've never been. We haven't been to Europe, and I think if you would have thrown a different country in Europe in there, I would have probably changed this. But I'm going to go with Hawaii.
Okay. Carrots or Brussels sprouts?
Carrots raw.
Cooked carrots or Brussels sprouts?
Neither. I'll starve.
What's your food color limit when it comes to food?
My food color limit is 3 colors.
Pickiest man alive. No one else will understand this except for maybe Courtney, but bestie 1, 2, or 3?
Oh, come on now. Can I pick 2, or am I stuck with only
you
1?
can pick 2.
All right, bestie 1 and 2.
Good plan.
Carrie says speed round, Ivanhoe or Tyler. Hands down, because I have way more friends than Ivanhoe. Ivanhoe.
Good job. Good job. This year has been a struggle for us, starting out in January. How has that changed your outlook as far as day-to-day activities and things that you want to achieve?
Well, the day-to-day activities have significantly changed, at least for me, just because if I walk up a set of stairs, I'm hurting by the time I get to the top. If there's an incline at all, I'm hurting by the time I get to the top of the incline. I have very unstable, the technical medical term would be unstable angina. And the damage to my heart was extremely severe. I pretty much, one wall, the outer left wall of my heart is essentially dead. And so, I've already had a couple of surgeries. I'm waiting to hear official whether or not I make it into a clinical research study where they're going to inject some stuff directly into my heart in order to try and get some blood vessels to help out the areas that are underserved by my current blood flow, so that hopefully the thought process would be that it helps decrease my angina so that I can kind of get back to more of a normal life, for whatever normal is for me, I guess.
I'm sure Carrie will have something to say about that.
Yeah,
too.
I'm sure he will.
How has, with the bad comes good, and we had an outpouring of support from our garment decoration industry, online platforms and things like that. Did that surprise you when you kind of, the first month or so you were kind of out of it, and I don't think you really realized the extent of how much support we were actually receiving in prayers and thoughts and people checking in? Were you surprised by that?
Yeah, I mean, to a certain degree. I mean, obviously our immediate family, brothers, sisters, parents, our children, and then some of our absolutely closest friends, both in just personal life and business life and in the football world. They were all reaching out to us, and and they still do reach out to us. I mean, I've been saying from the beginning, because it's what the doctors and the staff has been telling me, that this wasn't going to be short term. This is going to be long term, and it's going to be life altering, and they are absolutely right. So that didn't surprise me, because I always like to refer to the upbringing I think that you and I both had, is that we were raised old school.
Yep.
And just about across the board in their entire family, everybody was raised old school. And so that's a testament to my mom and dad. And I think that our generation is not anywhere like the generation of today. And you're just kind of, for lack of a better term, expected to have some empathy and some sincere, we want you to be here and those kind of things. So as far as like the garment decorating industry, yeah, that shocked me. I never really felt that we were at a level business wise where people would actually look to us for answers on how to do something or did this work for you guys, that type of stuff. I that was never something that I thought that we were at that level yet, despite 15, 16 years into the business. I have been pleasantly surprised at the love and the attention that we have received from the others in the industry. And I absolutely love and adore the decorated apparel social hours that we have every third Friday or whatever it is.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Thanks
we
to
have
Zoom.
Friends from everywhere that we never knew that we would have. We have friends that we've never ever met in person, and that's just quite all right. With things that have happened this year, I'm interested to see how you think I've changed.
Oh, you've incredibly grown leaps and bounds. You have, I think you always knew that you were a talented person. I think you always knew that you were a good person. I think you were just afraid to show it to others. And I think that your confidence that you have now in stuff that you're doing, like on Gracie B. Doodle or with the ICE podcast or with some of the other stuff, the leadership in your networking group, some of the other things that are on the horizon that I'm not going to let the cat necessarily out of the bag on yet, is just amazing. It's been so. I think for you, it's been very therapeutic for sure to have all of that going on, because I was not very fun to be around for 3 months. Carrie will probably say I haven't been fun to be around for 20 years, but I watching you grow. You've grown a lot in the last 9 years, and yes, I have more gray hair than you. So.
And I wasn't fishing for compliments there. Part of the reason why I asked that question is we talked about it last night, but I want to inspire others that you can do anything that you set your mind to. I made this statement in the Women in Garment Decoration group yesterday that sometimes it's just small steps and sometimes things will hit you over the head and like, oh, I guess I am doing that. So take chances, say yes once in a while, don't jeopardize your integrity or whatever, or take on more than you can chew, but give yourself some grace and be willing to learn your craft or something new. I never thought I would be liking to be on a podcast, and I find that I'm finding reasons to schedule ones for my BNI group and for us here. And so I want to encourage everyone to give yourself some grace and don't be afraid to screw up, because I fumble all the time. So that was the reason for that question.
Okay.
For future generations of your family, my screen just went off. Sorry. Listening years from now, is there any wisdom you want to pass on to them, and what would you want them to know?
I would want them, from a personal standpoint, I would want them to know that it's okay to have a different opinion than somebody else, but that doesn't mean you have to treat them like crap. If you have a different opinion, that's fine, but you can still have empathy. You can still have respect. You can still treat them with dignity and respect. I think that that's something that we've lost immensely in today's society. I think that there is just such a complete disconnect with respect and integrity
Mhm.
And so that's what I would want them to. I'd want them to kind of know some of that old school stuff as
Mhm.
they grow up.
Totally agree. Turn the tables. Tell the person you are interviewing what they have meant to you. How have I impacted your life?
There is nobody on this planet that has put up with more crap from me than you. And my education, my occupations, all that kind of stuff have just been over and over and over time. I've needed somebody at my side, and you've been there for quite a few years now.
Thank you. It's been fun being on adventures with you. Some
Yeah.
things that I never dreamed that I would ever do, between when we used to travel and go on cruises and raising our boys and things like that. And now facing this year together and whatever the future holds. I'm going to put up comment from Christine. You guys are a huge part of our community. You definitely bring a lot to our gang. Jay mainly brings laughter to the virtual cocktail parties. Lots of laughter. Lots
Carrie,
of different names.
Carrie says Jay is delightful. Well, thank you, Carrie. And Christine says gray hair is not necessarily a sign of age. I went gray really early, and I'm not that old, so gray happens. Yeah, cool. Angie says great comment, Jay. I don't know what the comment was, so I'm not. You're welcome. Glad it was. So.
Jay does bring laughter, and that, which is a good thing, and it is.
When you're a smartass, it's just hard to not bring laughter to some things. And yes, I just said a naughty word, Christine Shreve. There you go.
So you need to scold him like he scolded us.
It's in the Bible, though. So if it's in the Bible, it's not technically a swear word.
Carrie Sorensen says you two are a great team and good public example that lots of people can learn from. Thank you very much, Carrie. We've been trying really hard, especially this year. I think before, when life is just going along normal, you take a lot for granted. And when I got that phone call January 4th, I didn't know what to do. I stood here in our store and just spun in circles until I decided to call Courtney, and she got me on the right path. So I'm very thankful for all the people that we have in our life, family, friends, everyone that's ever done anything for us, and hopefully we can pay that back to them in spades in the future. Does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask Jay before we sign off?
Christine says, not denying you're a smartass, and I use naughty words all the time, so no scolding from me.
Awesome.
Angie said that it was a great comment about getting along despite having different views. So thank you, Angie. It's life is what we make of it, and life is a lot more fun when you have people that you enjoy being around, whether it's family or friends, your children, whatever. And so you've meant a lot to me. You've brought a lot into my life, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. Angie says, "Would you ever teach EMS?" I actually did for a while, Angie. I was an adjunct instructor at the college in Emmitsburg for their paramedic program for 2 years, I think, 2 or 3
Couple
years.
Yeah.
I didn't do a lot of it. It was just basically whenever the main instructor had to be gone, then I would fill in down there, and I enjoyed it. My EMS career now, though, just involved yelling at the TV. I wouldn't try to get back into either the career or into the teaching side of it at this point. It's just better to yell at the TV at all the crap that they're doing wrong.
Watching medical shows with this man is impossible. Impossible.
Doesn't even have to be medical shows, though. It can be the fire shows or the police shows too. And it's like, just because I was around that. Obviously I don't know everything by any means, but I know enough to know that most fire departments aren't going to shove the 6-inch fire hose through the entire car to get to the fire hydrant when they could have done something different. Or this Hollywood does so many stupid things.
Okay, we could go on and on.
Yeah,
with
we
this
could go on.
subject, but let's not.
Yeah.
Christine says, and Tanya, thank you for your contribution with women in garment decoration. You're one of the backbones of that group, and I'm grateful you're there. Oh, thank you very much. That, as I've said before over and over, was my safe space when Jay was in the hospital, because he can't see that group because it's for ladies.
Ladies only.
Which was awesome for me, because it's not just about industry specific stuff. It's about relationships. And if you're struggling in any way, you can go and just vent, or, if you're having a bad day, get it off your chest and then move on. So it's very much appreciated as well. And then we'll finish up with this. Angie says, what's your favorite EMS show? I like the Chicago series Medfire PD.
Well, we both like, I think you like all three.
I don't really watch Med.
Yeah, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, although somewhat hokey, I don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
We do watch those regularly. I did enjoy ER for the most part when ER was on. I thought ER was relatively close to real life, at least in what they were trying to do. They weren't shocking asystole, which means nothing to people who aren't in the medical world. But
well, I want to say thank you for everyone who tuned in today, and whoever might watch it in the future. Feel free to comment and like and share. This is something that's been very therapeutic for both Jay and I, and that we've been able to work on together. I may have had the idea, but Jay's talent really is logistical and organizational, and I don't always get there. I kind of get in my own way when it comes to that point. So I was actually really glad when Jay took over that portion, so that we could move forward and not be so clunky. It's nice when you know kind of what your strengths are and what they're not, and the organizational part just fell apart for me. So,
well, that's every part of a marriage too, is just you know what each other's strengths and what each other's weaknesses are, and you pick each other up. So
thank you all very much. I'm going to turn it back over to Jay for our last few sponsors. We really appreciate you again coming to spend some time with us, and we will see you later.
All right. Next week, I forgot to look at the calendar to see who we have next week on the show. I don't remember if it was Julie Fredrickson or who it was, but we'll have another great show next Thursday at 4 p.m. Central here on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. We would like to thank our sponsors for today's episode. If you're looking to travel either domestically or internationally, call Jana Hughes with Travelooza. Her and her staff can hook you up for your next vacation, from weekends to resorts or cruises. Her and her team are ready and willing to get you back on your feet, headed for the sun and sand. Call 1-888-689-0660. The Visual Identity Vault, located in downtown Fairmont, historic downtown Fairmont. TVIV is a full-service decorated apparel provider with screen printing, embroidery, sublimation, and more, and also offered our signs, banners, design services, paper-printed products, promotional items, and custom gifts. 4,000 plus square feet of retail space with great deals for everyone young to old. TVIV also offers a variety of different fundraising opportunities for your groups, needing to earn some extra cash for that special trip. Call TVIV today. Contact TVIV today at sales@tvivmn.com or online at www.tvivmn.com. And lastly, the best, Gemini Studios, leading video production company in southern Minnesota, based out of downtown Fairmont, right across the street from us here at the Visual Identity Vault. Gemini Studios offers many services such as VHS to DVD transfers, picture scannings to CD, advertising, commercials, voiceover recording, educational and informative videos, as well as live streaming special and school events. If you're interested in any of these services, please call them at 507-235 5190. And a couple more questions popped up. Oh, just people thanking us. Thank you to everybody who tuned in today. Let's get us back on the screen. Thank you to everybody that tuned in today. Thanks for continuing to support us with this program. We appreciate it very much. And our sponsors, our viewers, you're all loved deeply. That wraps things up today. Tune in to check. Thanks to those that tuned in to check us out, and we hope that you found the message of inspiration, collaboration, and encouragement to be useful in your personal and professional lives each day. Thanks a lot. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.